bless you. It's been a wild 48 hours, massive stock market crash. As predicted, the Dow Jones Industrial Average suffering its worst 40-day loss, like 40-year day, losses in. We haven't seen anything like this in a very, very long time. 1,200 point decline. And Jerome Powell comes on camera yesterday, recognizes Bitcoin for the first time, validating it as an official asset, having to even consider and answer questions as part of establishing it as a national security reserve as a part of the US government. Think about how far we've come from it was a scam to now it's being entertained on Capitol Hill. Donald Trump, of course, making the United States the crypto capital and Bitcoin capital of the world. So this is massive news. Now, Jerome Powell disappointed. He only cut rates 25 basis points, and he was a little bit more hawkish than normal. So the markets didn't like that. I also think that we're seeing some year-end selling, which we typically do into the holidays. People got to pay taxes, etc. So from my lens, this is a repositioning and is also a buying opportunity in select assets. But as I have been recommending, I have to say not financial advice, I've actually been telling you to sell in recent weeks. I've been telling you to take profits in Bitcoin, profits in XRP, and where I am bullish is very select assets. For example, Ethereum, I think will break new all-time highs. We haven't seen it do that yet, so it's going to meet resistance at around 4,800. I think we'll see it well above 5,000. I mean, long-term Ethereum is going to go way above 10,000, probably 10,000 to 15,000 on this curve as we enter into the new system. Now, we must understand too that Trump is not going to end the central bank. He is not going to end the Federal Reserve. In fact, he came out today and just said that not only will he not end the central bank's money printing, he is actually promoting unlimited infinity debt in the United States, which is what I've been saying. Every single president that has been put in power, Republican or Democrat, pushes unlimited, hyperinflationary, maximum debt loads, maximum bailouts. We, of course, saw this in 2008-09, and we saw it in 2020 with the record amounts of PPP loans, for example, which I refused. I decided not to take it just because it's an integrity thing. I just don't think that, I don't ask for anything from my government at all. You'll notice that in the news, people like Lil Wayne and professional rappers took millions of dollars and it just funded their Learjets over that period of time, paid for by yours truly, US taxpayers. Again, very few people have integrity anymore. Very few people say no. Very few people do not comply. Very few people take nothing from the government's unlimited printing of debt and hyperinflation, which of course is stealing from you and your family and your children. So it's been kind of weird the last couple of days. Trump is even saying that he wants to annex Canada and make it a part of the United States of America as the 51st state. I don't know if he's trolling, but it looks like he's serious, and I don't see how that would be a good thing. I mean, again, isn't the whole idea of maintaining our borders and national sovereignty to protect the United States, not expand it into a North American giant? That is exactly what the new system, the order, told us that they wanted to do. So maybe he's just trolling, who knows? But I actually think that's a freaking terrible idea. I actually think that runs right into the hands of what we've been warning against. Again, protect our borders, protect the United States of America, deport. Let's keep in mind there's going to be great chaos in the United States in the coming months. Once Trump gets in, not only have I predicted they will crash the entire stock market on his head, which it looks like that's happening now, so they can blame it on him in all the geopolitical events, but there's also going to be mass deportations, which is going to be very chaotic in the United States. I mean, it appears Trump's going to round up, tens of millions of people, God forbid, which again, we're all pro legal immigration and against illegal immigration. But if he's to do that, I mean, he's literally going to be going door to door among tens of millions of people in the United States. So I just want you to kind of understand the great chaos, which is the plan. Trust the freaking plan. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper here than just on the surface of the stock market. Again, the US stock market's a huge scam. Like if you're in stocks, expect to lose all of your money. If you have your 401k in the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones, or if you're still in index funds and ETFs and managed funds, expect to lose everything. Expect your accounts to drop 80, 90%, maybe to zero. Expect bank runs, in my opinion, more bailouts, more money printing, more chaos in 2008-09, more chaos than 1929, because that's the system that they've built. You have to understand, this is what they want. Infinity debt printing, massive hyperinflation, the biggest wealth transfer in the world, the Trump pump into crypto. This is why Trump is now in crypto. Like, again, he's an advocate for Bitcoin. He's gone from being against it to calling it a scam to now being pro-Bitcoin and even launching crypto platforms and establishing the United States government as the Trump crypto capital of the world and the Bitcoin capital of the world. So I want you to understand, this is what they want. Again, mass liquidity is coming out of the financial system. It's coming out of the banks. It's going into crypto, creating a liquidity crisis at major US banks, which is what they want. They don't have any reserves. And now Trump announced today he's pushing for unlimited debt. So that means they're going to get rid of the debt ceiling altogether, print so much capital and make your ears and nose bleed from the amount of money printing, hyper circulating, backed by nothing, trash US fiat currency, which again will only weaken the dollar further and steal from you and your families, which is what has happened. If you look at the CPI index, you go back like 40 years. I was talking about this in our last video. I've been skiing the last couple of days, taking a little bit of a vacay, enjoying family and friends, etc. If you've held cash for the last several decades, you've basically lost all of your money. So if hyperinflation's 20% a year, which it is now, give yourself 5 years and you're broke. Give yourself 5 years, you no longer have any purchasing power, which is what the government wants. Again, Ray Dalio, friend billionaire, has warned about this as well, calling it this new system that they're pushing us into, the geopolitical shocks, the geopolitical war, and this one big great setup, now putting Trump into the White House. Again, all of this has been extremely predictable. None of this is surprising at all. I've warned about this. I told you that as soon as Trump got in, the World War III would commence. We would see Zelensky lose the war in Ukraine. Trump's going to waltz in with the art of the peace deal. He's going to give territory to Russia, which they've already acquired. It's going to open up the greater Israeli war. Israel will attack Gaza and continue to do that, build the greater Israel. Then they'll, take out Syria, which they just did, and you'll be living through World War III, hyperinflation, economic collapse, stock market crash, and bank runs as soon as Donald Trump gets in. Now, look, I'm actually advocating for Trump. Like, I hope he does good things. I hope he has good intentions. But just like my father said, doesn't it seem too good to be true? Like, are you telling me that the 19 indictments and felony counts that were brought against Trump somehow no longer exist? Now, I think those were all fraudulent, but it's pointing out that the system isn't real. It's pointing out that the system is all lies. Remember how the radical left and the Democrats said they were going to jail Trump like he was going to jail or something? And now none of that's even talked about. Remember when the deep state was attacking Trump all these years? They were going after him, after Trump, and now they're nowhere to be found. It's like everything's great. He's like meeting with world leaders, shaking hands, pushing for unlimited debt, pushing for the annexation of freaking Canada. Nothing against Canada. We love you, brothers and sisters. Are Canadians. I have a lot of investors in islandproject.com from Canada. But my point is, we want to maintain independent sovereignty in the United States. We don't want to become a part of Canada and Mexico. That's exactly what the new world, is pushing for. So Trump even talking about it raises an eyebrow, unless he's for some reason just trolling, which maybe he is. Maybe he's just joking around. Who the heck knows? So we see the American oligarchs now take charge of the United States, which of course they own the United States, and they have for years. America's wealthiest billionaires that are so wealthy now basically are running the United States. I mean, Elon Musk is pretty much the president now. You see him with his black dark glasses on. His net worth jumped $200 billion. I think he only funded Trump's campaign like $200 million, and he's made like $200 billion more. He could literally donate $1 million to every single person around the world, and he'd still be the world's richest man. And this is another big problem that Trump needs to address, is because it's only the rich that are getting richer. It's only the elites that own Bitcoin and crypto and Ethereum and soon to be tokenized real world assets, which is what we've built. It's only people that have been in the stock market historically in the past, or that have their money out of the banks in these investments with no debt, that are getting wealthier. But everybody else in America is getting massacred, and I believe that this is going to continue under the Trump administration. Again, unlimited debt loads. He's pushing to get rid of the debt limit. He says it doesn't matter. Print as much as you want. Turn on the printing presses. Let them go burr. Have no accountability at all. Fund endless wars, infinity wars, right? Create so much debt, so much currency inflation that GDP growth, real growth, isn't keeping up with it, which of course raises the prices of your housing, your rents, your food, your health care, services. The list goes on and on and on and on. It's all we've seen. Again, the US government shut down the economy in 2020, printed more bailouts and debt so Lil Wayne could go fly on Learjets. It's an egregious form of spending which has just destroyed and absolutely wrecked and massacred the United States, in my opinion, and the American middle class, which is why it's so important to get into real assets. You know, the bright spot here is obviously crypto. I want to congratulate all of our newest members. I've had dozens of you hit breaking into tiers at 250, 500 units, 1,000 units this week. Congratulations to you. I want to do a quick shout out to Janet. You know who you are. Just crushed it with another 100K Bitcoin investment into the Island Project, taking profits on my recommendation just several days ago at record all-time highs. Now she's in for 250K, 250 grand. Congratulations, Janet, taking those profits, realizing the gain into islandproject.com that gives you so much more access to the capital gains, income distributions, of course, stays, comped, our ecosystem, your money's safe, out of the bank with no bank debt. I just want to congratulate you. We've had dozens more come in. We've raised millions of dollars just in the last few weeks, actually since we've been here in Park City. Booyah. So congratulations to the community. We are in process in acquiring 2 brand new multi-million-dollar mansion beachfront properties right now. We'll be making major announcements. And again, we designed all of this here at the Digital Noah's Ark long in advance, knowing what was coming, knowing that the American middle class would be massacred and it wouldn't matter who the president was, knowing that the debt would continue to be printed into infinity, knowing that the Fed would set the US dollar bailouts on fire, knowing that they would wreck and make sure that housing was unaffordable, that rents were unaffordable, that you couldn't afford your health care. We knew that who the president was, that they would push for unlimited debt, and then they'd be pushing for like annexation of other countries because, again, they're getting rid of the United States. And this is what you need to understand. They're getting rid of the last land that stood for liberty and freedom and prosperity, and they want to create it into a block, right? Just like the BRICS. They want to take the United States, end it, and then bring it into Canada, Mexico. I mean, even Joe Biden has been building Hunger Game type trains throughout the United States, just like the real movie Hunger Games, which is just predictive programming. It's actually like a documentary, just like the book 1984, Brave New World, which I really enjoy that novel. It's not fiction. It's actually like what they're doing. By the way, I do want you to notate that certain topics I can't go into. I'll just say this about that. I had some very viral videos that I released over the last week that did really, really well. We'll just say they're no longer with us. You know, again, you don't have free speech in America. You can only say what the authorities say, right? There's no free speech. It's just whatever the authorities say is doctrine, right? You're not allowed to think. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to be a pundit in the United States. You're not allowed to critically think. I can't even run a disclaimer that just says, hey, this could be right or wrong. Here are my disclaimers. I'm a media figure and this is my opinion. You're not allowed to do that. So I just want to encourage you, make sure you're subscribed on Twitter, X at AMTV Media, our official account. Make sure you're also subscribed to my Rumble, where you can watch all those videos that are not currently with us, if you know what I mean. So rest in peace to those videos, which, by the way, that tells you those videos are the hardcore, unadulterated, hard-hitting, and in-your-face truth. That tells you that everything I said in those videos is actually reality. I think you guys know what I'm talking about. So, you know, the biggest thing here is just to understand you need to position yourself to pivot, leverage, and profit in 25. We already know what's going to happen. We already know they've set up Donald Trump. We already know they're going to crash the entire banking, financial, economic system. We know that the dollar is finished. We know that they've destroyed the country. We know that they're massacring the middle class. We know we're in World War III. We know they're going to continue to destabilize the Middle East. We know China is going to attack Taiwan, God forbid. We know that this is going to happen. We knew that the Ukraine proxy war would lead us into Israel. We know Israel's going to keep expanding. It's taken more territory in Syria. We've all understood this. We knew Putin would win in Ukraine, which he has. And so as Trump waltzes in to this, to his 25 stint for the next 4 years, which won't be long enough to fix anything. I mean, you can't fix anything in 4 years. That's impossible. Okay, his presidency has been broken up. It's not like he had 2 consecutive terms. If you believe in the system, they've been working against him the last 4 years, which means he's got to repair all the damage of all the work he previously did in the previous 4 years. And he'll only have another 4 years. So if he only has another 4 years, that's not enough time to deport, build walls, set up the U.S. Space Force, set up defenses. He wants to, again, build defenses like Israel and the United States. I want you to think about what a giant undertaking that is. That bridge that collapsed on the East Coast hasn't been built yet. The astronauts on the ISS are still stuck there. How funny is that, right? They sell you all these lies about going, in my opinion, going to the moon, going to Mars, AI, all this revolutionary technology. They still have these astronauts, okay, these lame-ass astronauts on the ISS, and they still can't remove them and save them. Their spaceship broke down in lower Earth orbit. They can't leave. Okay, they don't have cures for male pattern baldness. The list goes on and on. It's absolute hogwash, in my view. So let's talk about where the elites are taking you, what their plan is, and then I'll give you, succinct opinion, advice, what I'm doing, recommendations to profit from the collapse ahead of all of us. And again, my advice is best in the world. I've ordered profit taking in recent weeks. Literally ordered you to take profits. Ordered you to take profits as we hit Bitcoin at 109K. Ordered you to take profits at near $3 XRP. I did the video from my green Lambo. I said, I took profits. It's exactly what I'm doing. 25%, 25%, 25% as it breaks new all-time highs. And now you're seeing why. Stocks are down. Crypto is volatile. Bitcoin even dipped below 100,000 earlier today. I believe it's a buying opportunity, but it proves my point. You're being set up by the new system, and you need to trust this plan and understand that everything is rigged. The U.S. stock market is rigged. For example, Jerome Powell could have cut rates by a full 1 percentage point if he wanted to, and they could push stocks up into new record all-time highs again if they want. They're in full control of the money printing. They are in full control of the debt. They are in full control of the laws. They are a private bank. They can do whatever they want. Trump, for example, he's now been elected. All of his felony accounts have been extinguished. They don't even talk about it anymore. Joe Biden's son pardoned. All of that's gone, proving my point once again. There's elites, and then there's the little people in the American middle class right here. There's the elites here that do anything that they want, and then there's you down here in the gutter. You're the ones bailing Lil Wayne out during 2020, right? So that he can go fly on a Learjet. You're the one printing, helping to print the debt. You're the one paying into the wars. Okay, you're the one doing all these things. It's not the elites. Again, for years, even companies like Amazon paid 0 in federal income taxes on like $400 billion in profits. So again, it's only the American people getting wrecked. Just like Donald Trump said, if you're smart enough, you pay as little tax as you possibly can. That's what smart people do. It's only the peasant class that's actually paying for all this stuff that's destroying your way of life. So just keep that in mind. Elon Musk richer than ever. Elon Musk added $200 billion. Elon Musk is so rich, he could donate $1 million to every single person around the world and literally still be the world's richest man. So I just want you to keep this in mind. This is an oligarchical transfer of power. This is a Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Larry Page, Sam Altman, even Trump oligarchical takeover. These are oligarchical families. Again, that's what Trump is even famous for. So I'm not, pushing on Trump. I'm praying for Trump. I hope he does all these good things that he says he's going to do. I'm just proving the point. He's got a real problem ahead of him. He's got real problems that are not going to be very easily solved at all. Also, they came out with the new World Ahead issue on the Economist magazine, which I always like to look at. So I'll just kind of show you this here for a minute and I'll verbalize it. This always kind of tells you, predictively programs you for where we are headed for the coming year. And I'll just tell you about the major themes. Theme 1 is Trump's the face of like the new economy. At some point, Trump is going to defend the dollar, okay? And by defending the dollar, they will then transfer us into the new system they've already pre-planned and created. That new system will be related to some kind of blockchain technology that governments have already set up. So you must understand that. Trump's actually going to push that through. You know, they'll call it Liberty Coin or something like that because they're going to defend the dollar at some point. He has to. Other images that are notable is that there's Saturn up at the top. There's an entire city in darkness, telling us there's going to be probably more than likely an EMP event somewhere in a major city. I would say most likely probably in Europe. That's also where the tactical I've predicted for years will go off, somewhere in Europe. It's also telling us that there's going to be a Chinese stock market yen crisis at some point. They also have the all-world seeing eyes. You can see here, it's tough to see on this image, but you can just look it up. And it is making up a face with Trump at the head of it, two all-seeing eyes, a nose above the dollar, and what looks like a face and a grin. It also tells us that Zelensky will be pushed out because he's done his job. And again, the job was to destabilize Ukraine and then basically move us into the Middle Eastern wars. He's done that, mission accomplished. Also in focus will be Vladimir Putin this year. Time is running out on the dollar. Again, Trump's going to help with this reset into the new system. Whether you like it or not, it's all going into the new system. It's how I knew about Bitcoin and all this stuff, and I've been warning about it for years. Let me see if there's anything else that we're missing here. But more geopolitical conflict. Trump will defend the dollar. He's going to have to do that. Stock market collapse, total eradication of your financial assets. Absolute destruction on Wall Street is coming. Bank runs are coming to the United States of America, in my opinion, just like 2008-09. Your 401ks are at risk. Your IRAs are at risk. All those self-directed accounts are at risk. And what have I been telling you? Get your money out of the banks. What have I been instructing you for years? To buy Bitcoin under 1,000. What am I telling you to do now? I told you to take profits and bring it into islandproject.com. A no bank debt real asset with large capital gains, income distribution, some use, also being tokenized on a multi-billion-dollar blockchain. Because when the stock market blows up, who even cares? All my members still own the best beach and oceanfront and ski lodge real estate in the world with no bank debt. We'll be buying more properties during the collapse. We will be tokenizing into Donald Trump's reset by defending the dollar, crashing the system, and moving us into the new technology that the United States and other countries have already planned for. Again, you must understand and trust this plan. The economic collapse of the dollar, the destruction set up by these people into the new system has already been planned out a long time ago. This is what the central bank and the Federal Reserve has been working on. And as I've shared with you, Trump's not going to end the central bank, so expect more hyperinflation. Trump's not going to end the debt. He just came out today and said it should be unlimited. He wants unlimited money printing, unlimited debt. That means unlimited inflation. That means unlimited collapse of your purchasing power, unlimited wealth transfer to the elites, unlimited wealth pouring into Elon Musk and others' pockets at the very top echelon of the hierarchical regime. And then the rest of America sinks into a pit. And that's what I've been sharing with you. So it's so important to get your money out of the banks. I'm even noticing, good friends of mine, I'll just shout them out, Gregory Mannarino, completely out of the stock market, completely out of the stock market. He's one of the few individuals I'll give credit to that's called things I almost think perfectly throughout the last 20 years. He's an OG like myself. He's been on YouTube as long as I have been. He's completely out of the stock market. He's actually sitting in cash, planning for a Great Depression in the United States. I encourage you to even watch his recent video. The same thing I've been saying. Get your money out of the banks, but don't put it in cash. Get it into real assets that continue to appreciate during hyperinflation. Take profits in Bitcoin and XRP while you still can and move it into the next 1000x opportunity here at islandproject.com. Have peace in mind that your money's out of the bank. Have peace in mind that it's growing. Have peace in mind that our portfolio has no bank debt. Have peace of mind that you can come stay, use the properties. You're part of our private ecosystem. Have peace of mind that you're in our 1000x token launch, and even our 30K minimum investors, in my opinion, not financial advice, will become millionaires in 2025 as a result. As my dad shared with you, he's telling people now, because it's really where we sit, the ark is now sailing. The door is about to close. We can't bring any more onboards. We're closing year end. It's your last opportunity. We've called it perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. I've been telling, let me show you where I told you to take profits just 2 weeks ago. I told you like every single day over the last couple of weeks, take profits. Take profits is what I said. You need to be taking profits. I'm looking at some of the recent live streams. Yeah, take profits. I mean, it's like literally right here. I'm telling you to take profits November 11th, 30 days in advance. I'm telling you, take profits into the new record highs. Take profits and put it in islandproject.com. Take profits and realize the gain. I'm telling you to take profits and sell some of your Bitcoin. Let the rest of it ride. You need to be reallocating now because they're setting up Trump for a fall. Again, we didn't win anything with Trump getting into the White House. The whole system's going to collapse in 2025. I'm expecting, even with Trump's good intentions, and I'm praying for him, all hell to break loose in the United States. I'm expecting worst case scenarios, worse than 2020. The story that I can't talk about, but I'll just show you guys here real quick. I'm sure you can figure it out. Has to do with this. We'll keep it cheery. Has to do with these little guys. What is that, guys? Well, it's spreading. They're declaring you-know-whats around certain states now in the United States. More tyranny is coming because this is going to start spreading again. So again, I think a lot of you probably agree with me, but what I've been telling people even in private calls, expect the worst in 2025. Expect all hell to break loose. Expect stock market apocalypse. Expect to have no money if you own stocks. Expect massive continued hyperinflation, huge World War III events like we're seeing with these tacticals soon to be dropped. What we saw with Israel with an earthquake BOMB that just hit Syria on a weapons depot just a couple of days ago, like that's only going to continue. It's only going to get freaking worse in 25. But the upside is crypto. The upside is real assets. The window is the digital Noah's Ark, which is why we worked so hard to construct it all these years. So hit those tiers. What you want to be doing is you want to be speaking with my father at 808-442-2934. You can call or text him at 808-442-2934. And then you want to fill out an app as soon as possible by clicking the Buy Now button here, hitting tiers, and making sure you get in at least for 30 units so you can position a pivot, leverage, and profit in 2025. Okay, so we are seeing some consolidation in crypto. Let's talk about that here. I do believe it's a buying opportunity, but you should continue to take profits into the new records. I still think we will hit new records as we turn into the new year. We're going to see that happen, but you're going to want to be taking profits because the elites have a huge black swan collapse plan. And it could happen sooner rather than later. And that's why I've told you to take profits. I've told you to do that so at least you've taken some profits because no one can predict the exact timing of the black swan that they've already pre-planned. Again, it's all planned. You do understand this, right, guys? It's all planned. All of it was. Everything you've experienced in recent years over the last several decades, all pre-planned. All of it. This is the transfer of wealth into the new system, the collapse of the petrodollar, and the movement into the new blockchain equivalents that now governments, by defending their own local currencies, will move everyone into. Bitcoin will continue soaring. Bitcoin's going to trade in the millions of dollars in your lifetime. Millions of dollars. One Bitcoin will be worth like $3 million, in my opinion, $2 to $3 million in the future. All crypto is going to continue to soar, most of it at least, the big boys, like I've recommended for years. My top 3 picks have always been Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, the only talked about on the international stage of all these governmental bodies, etc. So there's still massive opportunity, huge opportunity in the meme space still. That's not going away. I've been buying a little bit in select areas. I'm going to do some critical updates at school so you can look for these opportunities. I'm going to release, again, new picks, conviction buys that you should consider buying, in my humble opinion, that I'm currently buying that I think will be beneficiaries, again, of the collapse. So you just must understand, you need to put your money in what is going to benefit from the collapse of the middle class in America, the collapse of the system into the new one, and then the continued hyperinflationary event into blockchain. It's right here. See, again, all of my members are positioned, pivoting, leveraging, and profiting immensely from the #1 investment in the world because we already know what's going to happen next. Trump and the president after him will continue to print unlimited debt. The stock market's going to crash on top of Donald Trump's administration. Then they're going to blame Donald Trump. World War III is here. The AI wars are here. The things I'm not allowed to talk about above us. Okay, that's one of the topics that you can't talk about. That's going to continue. PsyOps are going to continue. So I hope you're catching the drift here. I'm doing my best. I kind of have to speak in parables because this is where we are. Like I said, guys, we don't have free speech. You have to say whatever the authorities think is their narrative. Otherwise, it's not allowed. Opinions aren't allowed. in the westernized world. It's a sad state. I know. It's very sorry. I mean, I've been fighting against that and warning of it for like nearly 20 years since I started online. Now it's just here. We're in complete totalitarian tyranny, and now we're just moving into the economic collapse end times. I'm sorry to say it, guys, but it's where we are. It's all spiritual, and we must understand this. So, God bless all of you. Stay optimistic out there. Understand that God's in full control. He will protect you. But expect the worst of the worst of the worst coming. The worst of the worst of the worst of worse than what you saw in 2020. Worse than what you saw in 2008-09. Worse than what you saw in 1929. And if you think asset classes like crypto are priced high now, you're going to like poop your pants once you see Bitcoin trading at $1 million. This is a complete devastating wealth transfer, eradication of America, and even Donald Trump's trying to annex Canada at this point, proving my freaking point. So again, unless he's trolling or something, that's exactly what we don't want. I love Canada. I have amazing investors from Canada escaping tyranny right now. Many of them can barely move their money out of the banks. We see this in Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. But I'm just proving the point. We need to protect America's sovereignty first. It's America first, nothing against Canada, but you're not a part of our country, dude. It's not Canada first and the United States first. It's the United States first, sovereignty first here in the United States. What else can I share with you? So again, Trump encouraging unlimited debt, no limit to debt printing, no limit to hyperinflation, no limit to war spending, no limit to bailouts. It's kind of funny, isn't it? They're supposedly going in there with the Department of Government Efficiency to cut $2 trillion in government spending while they raise unlimited debt. It makes no sense at all. It's like a drunken sailor having multiple infinity credit cards and telling you he's going to cut back on spending while he spends into infinity. It makes no freaking sense at all. Again, if I was president, the first order of business would be ending the central banks day one. I would end all the wars. I would deport. And then I would do my best to help the American middle class by ending the central bank so they couldn't print unlimited currency that then hyperinflates everything and destroys everybody's lives. That would be the first order of business. And then I'd go after all these people I'm not allowed to talk about in recent years. I'd go after them hardcore, but I can't really talk about that. Again, it's very, very simple economics here. So the wealth transfer continues. The oligarchs get richer. They're in full control. They'll print unlimited debt. They've got that other thing spreading again. So they're going to do that, and it's going to be the worst case scenario. You won nothing but a wealth transfer in 2025. So congratulations, America. Expect more of a wealth transfer. Expect more hyperinflation. Expect our members to continue to get richer. Everyone that owns Bitcoin and Ethereum to continue to get richer. And if you're in the stock market, honestly, you're in a very terrible investment. You're going to get absolutely destroyed and massacred in the coming days. You will be absolutely wrecked. Your hopes and dreams for retirement are honestly over, in my opinion, because that's all a scam too. They've been selling a scam. That's why your financial advisor told you not to buy Bitcoin. The best places to be, and this is why we've designed our portfolio with no bank debt, which is actually really hard to do, but God told us to do that. I don't care when the stock market blows up. We know it's going to blow up. When stocks crash 90%, we're going to be sitting pretty, calm as cucumbers, buying more property all around the world because we don't have any debt. Again, we're the little piggies that built in the foundation and cornerstone of God with no bank debt. We're not these banks hyper leveraged, 1,000x to 1. We're not the modern financial system that takes $1 and lends 10 against it. We're not BlackRock that's using all kinds of leverage to buy out every single piece of real estate in the United States. We're not Wall Street that creates derivatives of massive amounts of debt that then just blows up the stock market for an eventual crash. We've done the exact opposite. We're the Robin Hoods. We're fighting for you. We're fighting for liberty, the American people, our Canadian brothers and sisters, our New Zealand brothers and sisters, people from all over the world, our Singaporean investors, our Southeast Asia investors, our Tokyo investors, our biggest state, Texas, by the way. We have more investors from the state of Texas than any other state around the world. I almost consider Texas like its own country and probably should break off at some point, in my opinion. I mean, I think that would be great. They own tons of gold. There's tons of great Texans, and I believe it's really like the last state really defending liberty and freedom. So, I stand with you all there. So the world ahead in 2025, expect destruction. Expect Donald Trump to move in and defend the dollar at some point. He's going to have to do that because as Bitcoin and all these crypto assets continue to soar, they're not going to be able to allow that to happen. They're going to have to come in and push you into the new system, which is already pre-planned and set up. It's just one big setup, guys. You've been set up. You've been set up since even 2001, 2008 and 09, and arguably long before that. So I'm going to do more update videos. I'm not going to go too long into the tooth today. I encourage you to take aggressive action. You should be taking profits. Call my father. Fill out a 5-minute app at islandproject.com. Make sure you onboard. Make sure you hit these critical tiers before what we know is coming. Massive economic financial collapse. Massive dollar crisis. Massive problems in the US banking system. Massive stock market crash based on all the debt and leverage that Wall Street has created. Massive reset. Massive defending of the dollar, which Donald Trump is going to do. And again, that's going to transfer all the wealth into the digital Noah's Ark and other assets like it. Hit 150 units. Hit 250 units today while you still can. 500 units all the way up to 1,000. Come visit us. I have some newsletters I'll be putting out. We have 2 new beachfront acquisitions in process now. We're very, very excited. My dad and I have been working around the clock. And that's why I just took a couple days to just honestly enjoy family and friends and, love people and reach out to people and, take it in a little bit. We have to enjoy life a little bit too, because we know that the whole system, we know that's crashing and burning, right? We know they're moving us into the new one, but it's not like we have to be depressed about it. I mean, I just view it as God's plan, governance, sovereignty, and the fact that he's in absolute control of all of it. And this is what he wants. This is where he's going to take people into the next stage of end times, which is where we currently live. And it's going to get much, much worse. That's what tells us in the Bible. So God bless, guys. I mean, glory to the King. It means we're one step closer to his imminent return. So hallelujah. In the meantime, join other Christians, brothers and sisters like us. Vote with your wallets and move your money to the good guys. Invest in the Island Project and safe harbor your assets. Roll over your financial and retirement accounts while you still can. I don't want to hear these sob stories months from now or weeks from now about how you lost all your money in the stock market and that you don't have access to your bank accounts because we've had another 1929 that they pre-planned and we have bank runs. I don't want to hear that you missed Bitcoin trading at 200 to 300K and then $1 million and $2 million and $3 million. I don't want to hear that you've missed out in 2025 in the greatest wealth creation opportunity, the digital Noah's Ark, as we are the first in the world to tokenize real world assets of a concrete proof of concept, real world, no banked up portfolio. I don't want you to tell me that you didn't onboard so you missed the opportunity. Look, you have to onboard so you can take advantage of the opportunity when it happens. Just like when I make recommendations at school and I give you my opinion. Those of you that were ready profited 50, 100x. Those of you that get in late are late. The profits aren't going to be there. You've got to be early. And I'm telling you, the number one investment is what we have built at islandproject.com. It's such an honor. God bless you. Shout out to my fathers. I stand with you all. Prayers to you and your families. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Get your money out of the banks. What I have told you to do hasn't changed in nearly 20 years. I've been telling you for 20 years to get your money out of the banks. I've been warning about the collapse for 20 years. I've been warning about the Bitcoin takeover for 10. I told you to buy it under 1,000 at 3,500 throwing chairs in the pool. I'm telling you now to buy islandproject.com, get into real world tokenized assets with no bank debt. It's the sure thing. It's been built under a foundation and commandment of God. He ordered me to build this along with my family and our amazing members. We now have, approaching 500 beautiful members worldwide. And we're shutting the doors because we can't keep it open anymore. And we can't allow any more 30K minimums. So make sure if you're coming in with 30K, do it today and just make sure you fund. I mean, diversify a little bit. Get a little bit of money out of the banks, guys. Even if you're a cynic and you're like, well, if Christopher might be right, then you're taking out insurance for what I'm telling you is going to happen. Won't you have better peace of mind when the stock market is crashing and burning, like Gregory Mannarino, my good friend, is telling you he's completely out of the stock market, that you listen to me? Of course you will. It's where I have my own money. I've been taking profits, guys, in recent weeks. I've been telling you to. I've taken big profits in Bitcoin and XRP. I told you to do that. And now my advice again proves best in the world once again, because it is the plan. I still think we're going to see new highs. I still think you're going to see Ethereum break into 5,000. I still think certain altcoins are going to rally. I still believe there's massive opportunity, and I'm putting out 2 new picks at school in the altcoin space to pivot, leverage, and profit on for your consideration. But just understand, at some point, all of this is, not crypto, but the current system they built that they're moving to the new one is going to blow up. Not crypto. Crypto is the new system. But the old system, the petrodollar, the worthless trash fiat US dollar currency, the stock market, it's going to blow up because they've created a tulip mania and they want destruction. So then they can transfer you all into the new system they already pre-planned in Hegelian dialectic. The rich will get richer, the middle class will be destroyed, it'll be a massacre of the average American person, and real wealth and purchasing power will continue to decline unless you're in assets democratized that keep going up in value during the collapse. This is what this does. It's very easy and fundamental to understand. You own a portfolio of real estate when you buy your first 30K units or $1 million with us. You own $1 million then of the real estate portfolio with no bank debt. All the capital gains, true 100% equity ownership rights, all income distributions paid in 25, 26. You need to onboard now though, so you qualify for that. And plus the tokenization, which is basically like our IPO, right? When you issue new stock like Facebook, when it IPO'd, Mark Zuckerberg got rich and everyone a part of his team got rich because they're issuing new equity. When Island Project goes public, we'll have 5 more Island Project flagships. You do understand that. But the core founders round will never be touched. The core founders round will never have any bank debt. The core founders round will continue to grow hundreds of millions into billions of dollars in equity value. And then we're just going to buy 5, 6 new flagships. All of our investors, in my opinion, will be rich. They can do whatever they want, take profits, buy more investments, buy houses, do whatever you want. You'll have been protected in the storm, which is why I work so hard, because I've already known this spiritually and it's been commanded to me by God to build it. And it's why we've had crazy, almost otherworldly success, because it's not our success, it's God. Just like I did the very controversial video with my Lambo. I said, I don't own the Lambo. Well, of course not. God owns everything. You know, I don't sit around and look at my net worth and I'm like, oh, honey, check this out. I'm so special. No, I don't look at that. I go, wow, look at all the tools God has given me. I'm not going to take any of this with me, but this is building such a great opportunity for brothers and sisters. And we are empowering people that are being weakened by the system. And we're giving them tools, and we're helping the churches, and we're creating freedom and liberty. And we're allowing people to thrive and succeed in a very chaotic environment where a lot of evil people are working against all of you beautiful people out there. You know, I'm actually just going to encourage you. You know, Gregory Manarino, watch his video. He's completely out of the stock market, calling for a massive stock market crash. He's a friend of mine. We don't speak, haven't spoken in a long time, but we go way back. I mean, 2008, 09, we were on the phones, you know, right when we first started on YouTube. He's a good guy. He's a real person like I am. He's telling you to get all of your money out of the banks. But what you should be doing is getting out of dollars. You need to get into physical, privately controlled assets with no bank debt, and then tokenized. And I'll tell you this too. Also, the advice he's given is the same as mine. The only assets he owns now is crypto. So God bless, Greg. You're a wonderful man. Great work. Keep it up. And in addition to that, keep up the great work, all of you tuning in. Janet, crushing 250K. Oh my gosh. And I've had several other investors hit major tiers, dozens of you. And I've had a few investors come in all the way up to the $1 million tier amount because you took my advice and took some profits. And now you're going to profit even more. So you always got to be pivoting, leveraging, and profiting and looking for the next freaking 1,000x. So do it with us. God bless you. Jesus Christ is King. It is an honor. Stay tuned for more acquisition updates. I've got some just outstanding beachfront properties soon to be acquired. Another reason to hit the tiers so you can actually get some use of your investment. Bring your family, bring your wife, bring a friend, and share with them the great experience and the interactive investment and the lifestyle upgrade that, of course, islandproject.com provides for all y'all. And go skiing and enjoy your life and enjoy your family. And, you know, live for today. Carpe diem. There's no guarantee of tomorrow. And as I was sharing with you, you know, tragically losing my brother to cancer, he didn't even make it to 40. I mean, you need to live your life in a way where you do some planning. That's all good. Take out some insurance, build a legacy. It's what I do. But then go bold, baby. And if someone asks you if you want to drive a $300,000 Lambo or a Pinto, you always buy the Lambo. If somebody says, hey, do you want sardines? But I actually personally like sardines. Or you want, you know, filet mignon and garlic mashed potatoes, go for the filet mignon and the garlic mashed potatoes, for crying out loud. If you have an opportunity to marry the woman of your dreams, you go after her. You know, and don't meet her at a bar. Find her at church. Find her, you know, at a hiking club or something like that. Go find a good woman. Have a bunch of kids. Raise them in the light of the Lord. Teach them about God. Pray with them. I pray with my children every single day. We've had a really good time, and we pray multiple times a day. We're ceaselessly praying about everything. You know, if my son gets a cold, we're praying about his recovery in the cold and to God's will. If, you know, they're struggling, you know, maybe, you know, kids have a nightmare or something like that, we pray to God. We pray to God about everything, and even every business decision that you've seen us make along with my father as managers of the Island Project as, fiduciaries, which is such a humbling position to be in. It's all been instructed by God. Every property acquisition, I'm literally on my knees like, God, what would you like me to do? And I've been doing a lot of praying the last couple of days because we have 2 more properties we're buying. And I've really been asking for God on his governance and decision-making on it so that he can help me make the instructive decision that'll benefit my members to the best of our abilities here. We've also been cautious. If you've noticed, I've been very, very cautious on the recent purchases because I know the stock market and the whole U.S. is going to collapse very soon. So, you don't want to overpay for our acquisitions. So my dad are hardballing negotiating right now on everything we're acquiring because we know what's coming. And again, we're the cash buyers. My members are in the position of strength and power right now because we got the power of God. We got the Holy Spirit. So, again, we're in the strength position. And this is what I've been telling you to do for years. You want to be on offense, not just defense, because you'll get crushed if you're just on defense. You need to be prepping. You need food. You need water. You need batteries. Prepare for lights out at some point. There'll be some drills run on that very soon. We're seeing the other shenanigans I'm not allowed to talk about up above us. That's going on, all predictable. We see the other thing that is now spreading. So that's probably going to grow much, much worse, this thing. So this thing is going all around now. And again, the elites have just set all you up. To me, it's almost like I just try to remove myself from the terrible things the elites are doing and just be productive and proactive and create wealth and energy and success and motivation and love and hope and diversity and all that. And then my biggest goal is just to bring you all together in an incredible way so that you're not alone. It tells us in the Bible that we need to join forces, and that's what islandproject.com is. So a huge shout out again. Honestly, even the last day or so, I was even kind of feeling emotional about it. I'll just be honest about it because we've raised several more $1 million in the last week. And I really just got down on my knees and I just gave thanks to God. And I'm thanking you, my members, as well. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like God, your miracles and the mountains that you've moved and the empowerment of the Island Project by moving mountains that I see before me every single day, and then putting my team and my members and my father in a position of strength during the economic storm and the flood that's coming. It is so humbling and just breeds a lot of humility. I realize I'm a very controversial figure, and I think that's probably why you guys tune in, and that's really who I am as a person. But I also want you to understand just how humbled and how thankful I am, and how shocking it is even to me. A man with ultimate 100% faith in God, who will walk through darkness blind, holding on to his hand, who never gives up and always stands tall and kneels for no one but Jesus Christ himself. That daily I see more and more of these miracles, and I'm so humbled by it, and I see him working. My wife says the same thing. She's like, oh, Christopher, it's so amazing. We see how the Lord is working in our lives in this very moment. He's moving all the pieces, and he's done all these things for your members and project, and he's created wealth and prosperity, and look what he did for Bitcoin and all these kinds of things and everything that's going on, and it's shocking almost. And so I'm here to encourage you that by just trusting in God and honestly going to him and praying for your decision making, whether or not it's a relationship or it's an investment like Island Project, or it's a success point, or it's getting started in a new career or a job or spiritual, whatever it is, just go to him and allow him to guide you with your moves and your actions, and then take bold faith first, God first action, and let him do the heavy lifting and put your worries and fears on his shoulders. I truly believe and already know, because it's commanded. 2025 will be the most successful year of the Island Project ever. This will be the breakout year of which Island Project expands into hundreds of millions of dollars for the founders round, and then tokenizes into the billions, into the greatest transfer economic shift, bigger than the internet, social media, and e-commerce that's ever occurred in any of our lives. At the same time, Trump is moving everybody into the new system, defending the dollar, and global systems all around, not global, but the system around the world will all be transferring everyone into blockchain. So obviously we know where it's going. Obviously we're going to make tons more money like we already have. Obviously we are the success point because we understand the geopolitical economic motives of where they're taking the American people. Love you all, guys. God bless. Take action. Today's your day to do it, and do it to have peace of mind before the holidays. Like, don't wait till after Christmas. Do it now. Do it now before year end. Make sure you booked and you got in. Make sure your money's out of the banks. Make sure you're in a no bank debt asset like us. here at islandproject.com and call my dad so we can help. But the best way to get in, because my dad's working around the clock, is to just fill out an app and you can fund directly at islandproject.com. Do it now. I love you all. Jesus Christ is King. Big things are coming in 25. Great things are coming in 2025. And all glory to the Lord. And again, be paying attention at school. New opportunities are being released in the coming days. God bless.